All right, guys, we're back for another episode of the Live Drive Jive Archive with your host, Frank Monday. Welcome once again to Twilight Zone OP King, Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, where we broadcast Monday through Friday, typically a morning grind edition and occasionally an afternoon shuffle. I hope you are doing well today. Welcome, wizard, warrior, wayfarer, and wanderer alike. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, and however you are. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Uh, we have got beautiful weather here in the capital today. In fact, it's so bright, I got to put the bill down on my hat a little bit. There's no windshield wiper fluid in my wiper, so that's kind of a bummer. I hope you guys are doing all right today. I forgot what we were talking about on the other side of the toll road, but whatever it was, I'm sure it was extremely interesting. Well, I think I was singing you a Spanish song. Can't remember what it was now. Frank, any way to keep the stream going without ending it? No, there's not, Tedrick. They have an EMF block at the toll road, man. So kind of a bummer there. And it just cuts the stream. Hey Chris, welcome back, man. Good to see you. Um, yeah, so whenever the stream gets cut, like at the toll road and stuff, there's nothing I can do about that. It's totally beyond my control. I endeavored to keep the stream open through the toll road and thought that it would be pleasurable to do so, but the sensors feel otherwise. So everything is the only thing that's within our control in life is our reaction to it. What we do, the small act, the three spheres that are based on consciousness, the subconscious, and then the unconscious. So the upper dantian relates directly to the conscious energy. The middle dantian relates directly to the subconscious energy. And then the lower dantian is directly connected with the unconscious energy. So we operate within the sphere of direct control. It's how we utilize our conscious energy in life to influence the next sphere, the sphere of influence, the subconscious. And through the subconscious, we can influence the sphere of no control, the unconscious. And so those things which happen in the world around us and stuff like the weather, other people's moods and so on, events and phenomena in the world, we can only choose how we directly interact with those things through our small actions, our thoughts, and our words. Other than that, man, it's all in the control of the great creator. And so if a series of unfortunate events occur, then, folks might think they're having a shitty day. And that could, in fact, be the truth. But how you react to it is up to you to some extent. People sometimes don't have even direct control over their conscious energy, their mind. And it could be pulled into a vortex of negative entropy to which it's hard to escape. There, I finished up that Mars herb to the great god Ares, the Mars energy. All right. Well, we are about at the academy, almost to school now, and we've got about 20 minutes left in the show. So now I can look at the chat. So if you said anything earlier in the ideas room that was compelling or needs to be addressed, I suggest that you retype it now. Frank, grow the mustache and sideburns back. I agree with you, Jeff. And now that we're about to go into summertime, I may in fact do that. But at any given time, if I have to do professional things at work, chances are I'll shave it up again. I should have shaved up before picture day, really, but I kept the mustache. I got rid of the sideburns just in time. And then I rolled into school and they're like, oh, we're taking pictures today. And I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me? So I've got a wonderful set of professional pictures. They've already got them up on the website. And my daughter actually pointed it out to me. She's like, Dad, you're the primary picture on their website. So when she loaded up the website, she pulled it up on her phone. The first picture you see is mine in a classroom teaching a bunch of kids. I got on a nice Aramis tie and a blue sports jacket, and I look really spurious and dubious, far from the alter ego of Sir Francis Lunas Aristeas. I was reading about Saint Francis yesterday, in fact, and I thought, okay, don't go too far in the direction of Saint Francis. He was overly sensitive to the spirit world, and as a result, he was not able to live in the ordinary world very easily. And you can't be that spiritualized. You have to keep yourself in the red dust, riding a golden steed among the common folk, practicing your magic and interacting with some of the ladies. That was a nice middle-aged gal there with her yoga pants on, out there in it to win it, sweating, covered in glistening sweat, very alluring. Yeah, I think I told you guys that since I hit my mid to late 30s and now I'm pushing 50, I've uh I've only become interested in gals a little closer to my own age, which I think is correct and appropriate. In fact, I'm going to park behind this van. I could get up there in that number one or number two parking position, but I think parking behind the van is a little more low key. You know what I mean? You don't want to. You don't want to take a hot. You don't want to take a spoonful of hot cat shit and wave it under people's noses. I see people do that sometimes, and I think that's a little bit ostentatious. And it's better to err on the side of humility, I believe. So I've gotten back into studying some Taoist principles, which I never get far from it, but it's always good to refresh and reread those books that are the most treasured. And there she goes right there. Wow, she's getting it. And she's got a bottle of water with her and nice thick. What is this part of the arm called? I know we've got the tricep, the bicep, but this is the forearm, upper arm. That would be the upper arm, huh? Yeah, she's got nice thick upper arms, like a pin them behind her in a triangular formation. Yeah, Jeff will say, "Behave yourself, Frank. Don't be getting randy." Yeah, randy. I'm horny. The spring weather and the summer weather that always kind of brings out the vitriol, the vim and the vigor, the pep, the zing, the enthusiasm. The magic wand is it's on fire, ready for some octong. Octong. Yeah, the flow of the river. Don't let all that energy flow down and out into the world, though. Of course, you should be empowered and invigorated by the interaction of yin and yang, man and woman, the male and the female. They interact. And different people have different varying degrees of masculine and feminine energy within them. Yeah, make sure the pencil's got a little lead in it. Indeed. I was reading Master Ni again recently, and he said as long as you've still got that drive, that original spark of divine creativity, if you've still got a little lead in the pencil, then you're good to go on spiritual cultivation. He said as long as that spark of the divine is still fires up within you, then you. Master Ni will never approve of today's gender fluidity. He commented somewhat on it. We're 30 years ago, 30 plus, and he said that it's a limited phenomena in reality, and it should be handled with gentleness and tolerance. It's a very limited phenomena in and stuff like that, but it shouldn't be promoted as the mainstay. And I agree with Master Knee on that. Bummer, Frank. What's a bummer, man? What happened? Keep the stream going. Yeah, I don't have any control over that, bro. When they cut my feed, it's entirely up to them. If I got to go through the toll road, then it's just to pay the fee. I have to use the phone, so it doesn't work. I've tried to get my wife to take me out cash, but they've all but eliminated cash from Chinese society. They want everybody to just use their cell phones as electronic payment and electronic verification. You can't go anywhere. And I've heard talk that they might start mandating the and I was like, no, never. In, in fact, someone called the house the other day, and they're pushing for my wife's mother, who's like 75 or 76 years old, and for a mandatory gibber, you know what I'm talking about, a mandatory mosquito bite. And my wife's been fighting with them because she's a retired member of a certain however they were doing things here 50 years ago. I don't know, but I know that it was hell. That this place was a living hell 50 years ago, according to reports, eyewitness reports, and any literature on that era. And so they're talking about they keep bothering, like they sent like three big dudes over to the house looking for her, and they're like banging on the door, and she's not there. She's at her own apartment, and she hasn't been staying with us during this whole thing because they've been trying to hunt her down, and they're trying to bully her into it. Like she doesn't have to do it. She just keeps telling them no, but they keep like showing up. And I opened the door the other day, and I had a samurai sword strapped on, and a giant staff with a spearhead on it. And I'm like, "What's going on out here?" And I like jumped out, like threw the door open and jumped out into the hall with like weapons loaded. And I said, "Why are you banging on my fucking door?" And it startled them. And they're like, "We're looking for blah blah blah." I'm like, "Ain't nobody here, man. Get the fuck out of here!" And they bailed out. And then I shut the door and locked it. So it was kind of funny. But at some point, I don't know, man. At some point, it's all coming down to the line. Will you stand for justice and human liberty, or will you buckle? And if you buckle, fuck, I think it's pretty much game over in the new world order. I think that it's super important that we provide some sort of human element to the new system. Because if not, I mean, what does it all turn over entirely to AI? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough fucking call because I'm feeling as if they might start going in the direction of trying to pressure us because we have children and stuff. We got a couple of kids, so for the time being, we've been able to resist, and hopefully we can continue to do that. Know that you won't. The universe will find a way. I hope so, man. I hope so. I agree with you. Miss Mary Moon says my internet isn't working today, but hello, if you see this. Yes, I see that, Miss Mary Moon. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Whoops, I'm pushing the wrong buttons, man. Then it says I only see a loading screen, but it could be my end. My moon is Capricorn 8 degrees and rising 63rd west very soon. Captain Stardate, logs of Pisces, poo. Mary, good evening from Chris. Hello from Monsieur T. There will be no bucklers in this family. Monsieur T says, try to start the show a little earlier because I have to have dinner and walk the dog over here in Swampland. Okay, yeah, we'll work on that, man, in the abodes of the future, Monsieur T. We got about 10 minutes left, guys. So let me know. The world is turning. It is indeed turning. I agree with that statement right there. Good to see you out there, sir. Monsieur T. is back. Good to see Chris A. Just keep fighting the good fight. Not a lot more you can do. Do your part, whatever's appropriate for you. Consult the people that you need to consult. And I keep fighting it from my end over here. Uh, Hoisting Old Glory, the Star Spangled Banner, that great, what is it called? That great signet of freedom. At least in my heart, openly, you have to watch your P's and Q's a little bit. Uh, Sometimes they roll out the National Day flag, and I think, yeah, that's what it is, huh? Yeah, I heard that. I saw news reports and stuff, and they've made the app so that it's gonna have like on one side, it's like you have to be within like 2 or 3 days in order to even go outside, and then on the other side, it's got a record of how many how many times you've shot up, and they're pushing in that direction. So I was talking to my wife about it the other day, and she's like, I said, if everyone would have just said no from day one, then it never would have been able to been implemented. And over here, there's such a high level of entrainment that you could hardly expect that anybody would ever say no to anything. If they told them all, like much in the manner of lemmings, if they directed everyone to the edge of a cliff and said jump, 99.9% of the folks in this society would just simply walk right to the edge of the cliff and jump to their death. That's just the way it goes. It truly baffles me to see a people that are so entrained since birth, I guess, in these systems that anything they say goes. It's very, very unnerving, quite singular, in fact. That's why I call it Twilight Zone Old Peking, because it operates on a level of inanity that no other place on planet Earth that I've ever seen would ever stand for. But things are changing with the high levels of entrainment through the hypnosis of media systems and social media systems. A lot of people are following similar patterns. They're buying into entrainment in the level of, oh, there's a latest TikTok dance craze, and you've got everyone from the first lady to the uh, people working in the medical industry in their scrubs, and even your homeless or your man on the street, and they're getting into the TikTok dance and then uploading it to the internet. And you think, why are you doing that TikTok dance? And they don't know that an unthinking thing in any direction reinforces it in all directions. So once you start that little bit of resistance, then you'll find that in every single decision you make and in every single action you take throughout the day, you'll have that same power of independent freedom shining through, whether it be walking through a door or responding to a comment. You'll find that once you establish a pattern, a cosmic habituation will occur, and there will be a definite reaction in all directions and dimensions of the universe following suit and providing that Self same positive resistance that makes you stronger. Miss Mary Moon says she was out walking the dog, and three children have been to the doctor only a handful of times. Yeah, I have a similar situation. Whereas, like, I don't know, over here, like the mentality. So, to explain it to you a little bit, I got a couple of minutes left, guys. They are apt, I've noticed within my own family, my wife and such, to like first reaction is to let's go to the doctor. If there's sniffles, let's go to the doctor. And I noticed this early on in raising our children. And I was raised under a system of never go to the doctor. Uh, I mean, occasionally, once every couple of years or something to get a checkup or whatever. But basically, you never went to the doctor. You just suffered through it. So if you got a cold or something, and other than a broken bone, you just drink some hot lemon water or something and crawl under the covers and sweat it out. There was never a reaction of first, like knee jerk reaction of going to the doctor. And it's taken me about 20 years, but that's one of the things that I've kind of helped my wife steer clear of. Nowadays, I notice she doesn't even, I mean, obviously, the situation, you go into one of these places today and you may never come back again. So she's more apprehensive these days of, like my son the other day, he was feeling a little bit peaked, and I worry about even mentioning it right openly. But I said, we should probably take him to the doctor, see if he's all right. And he had taken a hot shower and he was feeling faint. And I thought, well, maybe your shower was just too hot. And so I said, here, drink a glass of cool water and sit upright. Don't lay down. Don't give into it. Bring your spirit back. Um, bring yourself back to consciousness, because he was kind of like fading out and wanting to pass out. And he's like, I'm tired, I want to go to sleep. And I said, no, don't go to sleep like that. I said, go to sleep feeling good. So make sure you're feeling good first and you've recovered. And I sat with him for about 10 or 15 minutes and talked him back out of it. Like the old hippies of the 60s used to say, they got to talk you down. I'm going to talk you down. And so I talked him down and he started looking better. The color came back to his face and he felt good and his eyes were bright again. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine now. And I said, yeah, if you feel fine, the universe has a tendency to make you fine. Mary Moon says a physician with no knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician. I don't remember exact quote, but the day I did, because I just read it. It was full moon, my Mars square, my Jupiter and Mars, and my Sirius accident. Okay, so Jupiter typically protects you more, right? And then Mars is, you can suffer injury when you're under the auspices of Mars. Is that how that works? Mars is typically more aggressive, injurious, but I would think that a Saturn energy would be more dangerous, right? The Reaper. Is that correct? Am I correct in thinking that? Yeah, you want to go to sleep every night try to feel perfect. So don't fall to sleep. Don't give in to sleep directly when you feel like shit. Take a few minutes to sit down and do your a little bit of meditative practice and try to generate gratitude for the universal expression and try to go into dreamland feeling good. Yeah, I think that's important, because while you're asleep, the spirits will work. All kinds of spirits. Your etheric body develops, your astral body will journey, the soul will seek union with the holy guardian angel. And it's an important time for healing and recovery and magical work. And so when you're going into dreamland, you want to be able to face the gate guardian with good, vibrant energy. Hmm. Okay, so Jupiter accentuates things. It's like a giant battery powering it, huh? This guy looks like he's either looking at me or I think he's looking for his dog. I don't see his dog though. He's got a dog leash in his hand and he's looking around like maybe his dog is out hunting. Dog will hunt. All right, guys, we're just about at the end of the hour here. An astrologer friend of mine died with a whole lot of Jupiter transits. Ooh, that's not great. I would be curious about Edgar Allan Poe and uh, Howard Philip Lovecraft, what was going on in their chart, because they both died at 46. And I almost died at 46 while studying Edgar Allan Poe and Howard Philip Lovecraft. So Edgar Allan Poe took like the gothic horror and brought it into the new century. And then Lovecraft, after studying Poe, yeah, there's his dog. And it's a bit of an older golden retriever. Yeah, cute dog. Got tail wagging, tongue lolling. Every I love dogs. People should love their dog. I can't keep a dog though. I don't have the room for it. So yeah, Poe in researching Gothic horror 46, and then Lovecraft researching Gothic horror or cosmic horror rather, bringing it into the new century. Dead at 46. But they were guys who had already kind of completed like their Magnum Opus and their pièce de resistance and their what's the other word for that? Your grand work. Yeah, the great work. So I was studying both of them and then bam, I almost lost it. And I thought, man, I haven't done my Magnum Opus yet. So I can't check out yet. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? The Magnum Opus, your great work. Wow, we got just enough time to finish off this JP Farrell and hit the road. Guys, the text to be studied for Mercurial meetups this time is uh, the same one we've been looking at over the last couple of weeks. I haven't chosen a new text. If you have a new text you would like the group to research, it should be like around 50 pages, a pamphlet sized text, nothing too long. It's something you want to be able to read in a week or two and be able to, it should apply to mind magic, metaphysics, psychology, something in that realm. I was listening to a long lecture by Carl Jung last night on psychology and alchemy. That's it, man. I finished that bad boy. It's not a very good cigarette though. I'm gonna buy some decent tobacco today. I met a guy down at the open market grocer the other day, and he had a long brass pipe, and he was smoking tobacco, loose tobacco out of a bag. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, where can you get that kind of loose leaf tobacco?" And he said that there's a place, and he gave me a an address. And so I'm thinking about this weekend when I'm off, I'm gonna go check that out. And he said that there are tobacco sellers there, and they have giant drums full of loose leaf tobacco. And he you can go around and just buy it by the kilo. And so I thought about getting myself a couple of sacks of high quality loose leaf tobacco, pipe tobacco, and then getting myself a long brass pipe, and then trying to discipline myself away from cigarettes because I'll be off all summer. And I thought, if I could get into the habit of smoking a pipe, I might end up, who knows, I might end up smoking less or quitting smoking altogether. I've done it before. I've done it in the past. So I'm interested in that. I think it's cool to grow your own tobacco. I think that would be good. Yeah, see if you can find something. Uh, if it's a full work, like a full book length work, then we could look at it chapter by chapter, right? Because you can't get a lot done in a week, especially if you're working. Yeah, Chinese tobacco is actually typically better than other countries' tobacco. They've been in the tobacco industry for a while. I knew a girl that worked on, I helped her study for her uh to get into grad school. She was going to take the GRE, and I was helping her with the subtleties of uh the craft of writing essays and stuff and taking the tests. Wow, a victory garden, huh? Very cool. Um, and her father and her grandfather both worked in the tobacco industry. And she told me about the processes here in China. And she said, at least at that time, she doesn't know now. She grew up in a tobacco factory as a kid, and her father told her all about it. He talked about it with her and stuff. And there are varying grades of the tobacco, but she said that they didn't use a lot of chemical treatments for the tobacco, and that a lot of it was like air dried on the streets and shit. They would take the leaves out and they would air dry them and then cure them in like a, a flue cured oven or something. And she said most of the process was done naturally. Like the farmers, when they harvested the leaves, would take them out and do the entire first part of the process like on the asphalt and ride out around all around where they grew it in the area and lay it on the fields and stuff and dry it as long as there was no precipitation or moisture in the autumn time. And then they would bundle it all up, huge bundles of it, and some process, I don't remember exactly, but she talked about it at length, like a cleansing process with water and stuff, and then a flue curing process, and then trimming and rolling and stuff. Yeah, it gets big leaves, and it was all based on an early set of Virginia seed that had been imported from the United States back in something like the 1600s. And so they have been doing it for like 400 years. And they use the exact same process as they used 400 years ago. And you could tell the high quality Chinese cigarettes are delicious, literally delicious. Like they have a light, airy, but at the same time robust and full flavor tobacco experience that rivals any of the finest Virginia tobaccos you could find. And but they're expensive. The better quality ones, we're talking $10 a pack, about the same as international prices, which is the equivalent of like 100 yuan, 80 to 100 yuan. And all the elites, the guys in the party, they all smoke them. They have a brand called Little Panda, and it was famous for one of the big wigs over here, the last president, Hu Jintao. He smoked those, and then the current guy, he supposedly smokes Zhonghuas. And you say they say you can tell what kind of policies will be implemented depend on what kind of tobacco they smoke. So that's a fascinating divergence into Chinese cultural studies. Yeah, that I thought just an obscure uh, factoid that I thought I would share with you. I hope you all good looking sex people stay well out in happy land, as above, so below, as we wander into the abodes of the future ad astra and do good magic. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the goose buttons. Whoop! That gets one right up the bum and keeps Frank Monday jumping. So I'll see you guys next time. And until then, Zaijian. Thank you, Chris. Take care. Shout out to Chris, Miss Mary Moon. Thanks for tuning in. Monsieur T. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone out there in Happy Land, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, there you have it.